Welcome to today's topic. I'm really excited to share with you about how to navigate eating healthy when you're in a relationship. There's a lot of challenges that can come when you are trying to get healthy and you're living or dating with a male partner who can eat ice cream and eat pizza and eat the giant burritos and the pad thai and not gain weight, and you can't seem to not gain weight when you're with him. And so what happens is a lot of women start to think that their partner also needs to do it with them and follow what they're following in order for them to get healthy and for them to lose weight and for them to get fit and be happier in their bodies. But this is completely false. It is a limiting belief. And I'm going to break down for you 4 reasons why that's wrong today and show you how to shift your thinking, show you how to transform that belief to something that's much more empowering. And I'm also going to give you some tips that I use with my boyfriend to make sure that I am staying on track with my goals, but not affecting our social life or eating out or things like that. Okay, so it's very common for women to have this thought, I need my partner to do this with me to succeed. Perhaps your partner can eat half a pizza or a pint of ice cream and a beer and still have abs. It might be really frustrating for you when your partner wants to go out to like a greasy pub for dinner and you're like, I don't want to eat a burger and fries, but like you want to spend time with your partner. You don't want to say, no, let's just go get a salad. You want to please your partner. You want your partner to be happy and you care about their needs and their desires. So you will say, okay, and go along with that. But then you keep finding yourself in situations where you're eating food that's not consistent with your goals. Maybe you feel like you have no self-control in your own home and your husband wants to always have ice cream in the freezer. That's something that he enjoys to eat, but you have no self-control. And so you just find yourself keeping going to the freezer. So you feel like he needs to change his behaviors with food in order for you to change. Wherever you're at on the spectrum, this is a very common belief to have, but it's really holding you back. I have coached hundreds of women over the past 4.5 years, and I have seen this belief pop up again and again. So I'm really excited to walk you through how to transform it because it's a very limiting belief. So why is this belief that your partner needs to do it with you in order for you to get results wrong? Number 1, listen up. You can only change you. You actually do not have control over your husband or your boyfriend or your fiance, but a lot of women think they do. A lot of women try to have control over their partner. A lot of women try to change their partner and control his behavior and actions. Number 1, that's just bad for your relationship. That's not going to turn out well for anybody because human beings do not want to be controlled. We all were born with a desire to be free. We are all individual human beings. We have our own thoughts, we have our own beliefs, we have our own preferences, our own wants, our likes, our dislikes, and we have the ability to exercise that freedom. So trying to drag your spouse alongside you as you commit to your body composition goals does not usually work out well. I have seen women try to do this. Let me pull my husband into this thing I'm doing and make him do it with me. And why that doesn't work is because people need to be motivated to change because they're internally motivated to change for themselves. They have to want to change. It's like trying to force somebody into rehab that's not ready to get sober. They have to make that choice for themselves. And so you trying to pull your husband along with you and force him to do what you're doing is actually not a great situation to be in because if he goes along with it, he's doing it most likely to appease or please you, and he will lack true commitment to the process. He will do it half-assed. He will get halfway through, quit, and he'll miss out on his own life-changing transformation that he could have with nutrition when he was actually ready to make a change for himself. Okay, so I really want you to remember and take home with you, you can only change you, even if you're married and you think you're super close and you own your husband or whatever, you actually do not have control over him and what he chooses to put in his mouth, okay? Number 2, You're failing to see that as the female in the household, you actually are the primary influencer of eating behavior in the house. So women in general tend to do most of the grocery shopping, meal planning, meal preparation still. And so you actually have a lot of control over what you bring into the house. Now, I understand if your husband loves to have ice cream that you may want to buy some ice cream so it's available for him. And we'll talk about, self-control. But you are the primary influencer in the house when it comes to eating behavior. In my 4.5 years as a coach, I have seen the same pattern over and over again, which is how the woman goes tends to be how the house goes. You also are the one preparing food for the kids, most likely, if you have children. And your husband is going to tend to just shift with you and how you're cooking and doing things. I remember a client who was shocked that her children were now like super into spinach and eating greens. And it's like, yeah, because you're serving them. And like when they don't have other options, like they will eat what's in front of them, or they'll go hungry and they'll eventually eat what's put in front of them. You actually don't have to cater to every single person's desires in your house. You can actually say, hey, this is what we eat in the house. If you're craving ice cream, honey, like go grab one when you're out. Or hey, if you want pizza, like totally get it, like go get it for lunch next weekend, right? So you don't have to wait for your partner to get on board. You need to be the lead. You need to be the main character and bring your main character energy to the house and chart the future for yourself and your family. Number 3, your success is actually dependent on you. It is not dependent on your partner. That is playing victim. If you think that your success is dependent on your partner doing it with you, you are being a victim. You are giving all of your power away and saying, I'm actually not responsible for my results. My husband eating healthy is the reason that I will lose weight. My husband eating unhealthy is the reason I've gained weight. Ladies, this is false. By shirking responsibility for what you're choosing to put in your mouth, you reinforce beliefs of being unsuccessful, of being a woman who has no self-control, and of being a woman who is a victim, which is the opposite of empowerment. Ladies, let's stop this. We've already dealt with being unempowered for millennia. Let's step into our power and actually take responsibility for our own food choices and what we're choosing to eat, and stop thinking that our partner needs to do it with us. Number 4, you actually have much more flexibility than you realize in your eating that allows for lots of dining out with your boo, lots of date nights, and your ability to reach your goals. It's very common to get stuck in either or thinking when it comes to dining out. Women tend to think, oh, I will either be like 100% like eating perfectly clean when I go out to eat and just get like a salad with like bone-dry chicken and a water, or I am like eating the bread basket and a pasta dish and having dessert and wine and like another appetizer. It's like a feast or famine mindset, and it's a very negative, disempowering cognitive distortion to fall into all or nothing thinking. Things are much more gray in life. So remember, you don't have to either be like binge eating when you're dining out or sitting at home eating a salad. There is a middle ground. There is a middle way. And that comes from learning how to eat the right quantity of food for your body, which we're going to talk about a little bit more at the end. So who do you need to become in order to be successful at transforming this limiting belief and really stepping into your power and owning that you and you alone are responsible for your results with your body? So you really need to become a woman who owns her power. You need to own that you are in charge of yourself. No one else is in charge of you. You are in charge of you. You are in charge of what you choose to put in your mouth and what you choose to drink. And it's not your partner's responsibility to help you achieve your body goals. It's just not. He's responsible for himself. He's responsible for his body. He's responsible for his nutrition. And you may be in a partnership, and so you support him, by buying groceries or fixing meals, etc. But ultimately, he's still responsible for how much he chooses to eat, if he even chooses to eat. A lot of men skip meals. I see this a lot. You can't force a man to eat, let me tell you that. You can remind them all day long, and they might still choose work over food. And you also need to be aware that, he can do whatever he wants to do, and it's not going to affect your goals unless you allow it to affect you. You need to own that you're a powerful, influential force in your spouse's and your family's life, right? Have you guys ever heard the phrase, the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck, right? She turns the head how she wants it to go. Women have a lot of influence. And you have a lot of power in how your spouse and your family lives go. You prepare the food for your children, you determine what they eat, not their tantrum. You need to own responsibility for the results that you have in your life. You need to say, I'm responsible that I've gained 20 pounds since being in this relationship. I'm responsible. I'm responsible for not walking. I'm responsible for not eating properly. I'm responsible for drinking too much alcohol. I'm responsible for all of these things. And you need to shift your thinking from more rigid black and white thinking to more flexible, creative, and how can I make this work type of thinking. It's not an either or, and you do not have to control your partner in order to be successful. So let's talk about a few tips on the court that you can use to be successful navigating eating healthier regardless of what your partner is choosing to do. So the first thing that I want to share with you is what I call the 2/3 rule. One of the biggest mistakes women make is they go halvesies on things. They split things, right? Split an appetizer with your partner, split a dessert, split an entree. You might hear that. Well, that can sound like a good strategy until you are splitting everything just kind of directly in half and you're eating basically the same portion as him. Honey, his calorie needs will always be higher than yours, for a variety of reasons. Usually men are taller. Men have more muscle to fat, so they lose body heat less efficiently. They lose more body heat throughout the day. Okay? And they just need more calories. And you cannot match your partner portion per portion, meal for meal, and have the same results. You just can't do it. And so what I like to teach is the 2/3 split rule, which basically is, if you're sharing something, he eats 2/3 of it and you eat 1/3 of it. And if you follow this general guideline with your portions when you're sharing things, then you will be much more successful at avoiding weight gain, losing weight, maintaining your weight. So, for example, if you were making a lunch for your husband, you would want to, and you want to cook the same thing for both of you. You're not trying to make life difficult and cook multiple meals. You would want to give him 2/3 of a portion to your 1/3. So for example, if you're cooking chicken, give him 6 ounces, give yourself 4 ounces. If you're doing rice, give yourself 2/3, give him 2/3 of a cup of rice, give yourself 1/3 of a cup. If you're doing broccoli, give him, 1.5 cups and give yourself 1 cup, right? Are you starting to get the idea for how the 2/3 split rule works? So this is a rough guideline. Now, if you're tracking your macros, then you don't need to do what he's doing, right? You don't even need to worry about it. But if you're not tracking macros, or you're trying to maintain without tracking macros, and you're trying to just learn some good eyeball portion control tools, then the 2/3 rule is really good. Another tip is to walk together. Walking together as a couple is a great thing because it's a great opportunity to talk and connect. Men tend to connect better side by side, and women tend to connect better face to face. And so as women, we often want to sit and make eye contact and talk that way. And men are just more apt to want to connect being forward. And that's how boys play together. They tend to play side by side. Women tend to play face to face, little girls. And so going for a walk is not only good for your bodies, but it's good for your relationship. And couples who walk together and engage in physical activity, you're also releasing endorphins together. You're enjoying a fun activity. You're doing something good for both of your health. You're relieving stress. Like all of these things will improve the quality of your relationship. And I've heard this from clients over and over again. They're like, wow, like walking more in your program actually really improved my relationship. I'm not a relationship coach. That's not what my program's about. But like you may have benefits to your relationship simply from walking. So that's another great thing that you can do to avoid gaining weight with your partner. Another thing is to listen to your body. So I was hanging out with my boyfriend this weekend and he like hadn't had a lunch and we were like leaving church and he was super hungry. So I had like protein bars on my purse. So I gave him a protein bar and then I was like, what do you want to eat? He's like, a burrito. So we went and like got him a burrito. I didn't need a burrito at that time. I'd had a lunch. It was 4 p.m. Just because he needs to eat something does not mean that I need to eat. Be okay with like sometimes your needs are different than your partner's and he may need to eat more frequently or eat a bigger portion than you do. And it's okay to sit there with somebody in public and not eat with them. It's actually okay. And I actually had a protein bar with me, so I ate that because I was ready for my afternoon snack. That's another thing, just like bring snacks with you. Have some healthy non-perishable snacks in your purse or that you keep in your car. You could keep like some little bags of nuts or crackers, or protein bars are great. But I share this because I think so many women think, oh, if he's eating, I should eat too. No, listen to your body. It's okay to not want to eat the same amount as your partner or not be as hungry at the same time. Now, you may want to share meals because that's important for you guys connecting, but then modify portions. So like when I cook for my boyfriend, like I might make him 2 pieces of avocado toast and me 1 piece. His scramble might have 3 eggs and like half a cup of egg whites, and mine might have 1 egg and half a cup of egg whites. So it's really just portion control. You don't need to change like the entire menu of what you're eating, but men do need more calories overall. So they're going to need more protein, more fats, and more carbs, and they're going to be able to eat that. So allow him to eat what he needs to eat without it affecting you. Let go of trying to control his intake and have it match what you're eating, because actually he will probably feel starving if he does what you are doing. It's the worst thing for him to do to follow what you're doing. My boyfriend needs a lot more calories than me, probably 1,000 more a day. That doesn't negatively impact our relationship that he needs to eat more. Okay? So I hope this topic really helped you today. I hope this teaching really hit home. I'd invite you to listen to it again, share it with a girlfriend, because I think so many women fall into this trap of thinking their partner needs to do it with them, waiting for their partner to be ready to get healthy, and just like being a victim and like not being responsible for owning that you are 100% responsible for what you put in your mouth. And if you are feeling like you want to learn more about nutrition, if you're feeling confused about how to lose fat without forbidding foods, without hunger, then I invite you to join the waitlist for my spring summer coaching program, Empower. You can join the waitlist by going to my website, heathermcconaughey.com. You can also join by going to my Instagram and clicking the link in my bio. And I would love to start teaching you via weekly knowledge that I will send to your inbox as well when you join the waitlist. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Feel free to message me on Instagram and tell me what your biggest takeaway from this teaching was today, and I will talk to you soon.